3, 2, 1. There you are. Hey, Crowies. Get fucked, Cello. I don't even care. You know, here's the thing. I'm over it. I feel so much better now that I'm like not so worried about what other people think because I know my truth. So I saw Dorothy in chat. I saw Maddie in chat. Shazzy, welcome back. 2 days in a row. Let's see who else is here. I think that's it. I mean, there's probably some lurkers because I see 4. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, it would be Alex. There he is. Thanks, Dorothy. The more you guys share, it's not like we don't have the same friends, but the way this stupid social algorithm goes, because I share stuff for myself in reality games, I get cock blocked a lot. They go, you've posted too many times this week. You don't get to post again. Or you can post, but nobody's going to see it. So when you guys share it, that means that everyone gets to see it, which is nice. Although we're here at the same time every week, so. Ooh. Why are you not... Maddie, correct me if I'm wrong, but you can't hear April, can you? I'm not seeing it jump for your voice, so give me a second. Why is that? Go ahead. That's not it. I can hear you. It's just not coming through. Try it now. No. No. What the fucking fuck? Oh, you know what? There we go. Let's try that. There we go. Go ahead.
Hello, hello.
There we are. I got my new headphones in so that I don't have to like squeeze my head the whole time, and I had to switch it to that. I didn't even realize. Yeah.
Oh. Okay, so now you guys can hear me.
Yeah,
Hi,
now you can hear April.
Hello.
April's been here. So we've been talking for a couple weeks about how we both really like horror stuff and serial killers and true crime, but that is such a cornered market already that we didn't really want to do specifically that. So we've been thinking about things that we could do that would be somewhat similar, fit the same genre and mold. I swear to all that is holy, camera, we're gonna fight. That we would do something. And then I stumbled across a Markiplier video where he played a video game based on an SCP, which has 2 different general meanings. One is secure, contain, protect, which is the most standard one, and the other one is special containment procedures. So basically, they're stories based on lore like Bigfoot or is it the Flesh Pit National Park? I always get it messed up because it just looks like a gaping butthole to me. But yeah, places that people have said existed. Some of them are just made to fuck up. But I started with Flesh Pit, and I sent April over to look at Flesh Pits. I wonder if I center this more. If you can still see my house, and here's the thing: I don't care if y'all see it, but if Alex walks behind me naked, I'm sorry. That's my art desk right there. That's where I do all my art.
Not me looking. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, look all you want because the boys got ass for days. So
let's go streaking.
He's probably gonna run through here in a minute with a laundry basket. Let me see your dick.
Do that, laundry boy.
Poor Maddie. I feel like we do this later and later every week, and you don't get to eat, and then Maddie boy has to stay up till 4 a.m., but well worth it, I'm sure.
Yeah. What else did he want to be doing? Sleeping?
Yeah.
How
sleeping lame.
You can sleep when you're dead.
Alex twerk redeem. I wonder if he would do that if I put like a twerk redeem on here, if he would actually do that.
Yeah.
That would be funny. I do want to try something here. I popped out my chat last time and you guys could not see it on the main page, but it looks like it just shows up as a black box, which is equally as distracting, right?
It's just about to say that on my side, I can only see the only chat I see is we're going live shortly. When you said that, I can't see any other except for the little box on your chat.
I will say
I don't know if
that's for you guys.
So when you were saying everybody was here, I was like, I don't know who's here. What? How do I
You may. I think we found out yesterday that some of the. Oh God. No, he didn't. Was it the? Yeah, because he said he would dress up as the rodeo clown. I fucking forgot about that. I totally forgot about that.
Oh yeah, for the.
Yeah, for
right.
the yeah.
We forced him to because he guessed the right one on the. He guessed that one with the tomato, the Nancy Drew one.
Yep.
He guessed who it was right away. I remember that.
Yep.
And so that was his punishment.
So we've agreed that there will be weeks where we still do. He says he has it. Yes. He's got to get the outfit. Okay. I'm sure he'll be a sexy clown, Chazzy. I don't think he'll be able to pull off anything too spoopy. It's not in his energy. But I wanted to start going through SCPs. Now, as you can see over here, there are thousands of these. There are podcasts, there are Twitter feeds with stories. Like, this is one of those things that is everywhere online. Even if you've never heard of it, you have. So if you guys want to suggest your favorite ones and we can do a deep dive. But today, did you actually find the one that is the meat one? The flesh pit?
Well, I didn't find it within the wiki, but I found it when you told me just to Google.
Yeah, you can find a lot. There it is. I did SCP official, and I found I'll send it to you. Give me a second. It's the wiki.one. Hiya! Oh, look, his dick flew off.
Because I was asking you what number it was, because I didn't see it.
Yeah, I think it's not listed on here. I'm not sure. Listen, you fucking snappy piece of... Look, you see what this shit does to me? There we go. Put that there. I don't want either one of those over there, you shithead. They think they're doing you favors.
I get where I can read chat too, so bear with me for a second. I'm trying to see where I can read chat because I can't see chat for some reason.
You guys can thank Alex for actually helping me because we started talking about how we could kind of zoom in on something horrific and not do something that everyone else has done. Now, this does have a very large fandom, but it doesn't mean if there's not so much to cover that not everyone's going to cover the same stuff. So, just Alex.
Yeah, there seem to be several of them.
There's like 4 million. It's probably an overshot, but...
Okay, well, I can't see chat, so you may have to call out if somebody asks me a question. Or I can't see it.
Can you see it from the
stream? I have no idea.
Can you see it from the stream? Because I can see it on the stream.
I can sort of see it. I might have to go get my glass. I can sort of see it.
It's okay. I can handle it.
I'm
blind. The chat's probably just going to have questions or ask for opinions anyway. So I have the web page pulled up. So I'm going to read.
It's just weird. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I was like, I'm trying to. All I see is we're going live shortly from you at 6:35, and then after that, I don't see anything else.
It's okay. It's not a big deal. We also want you guys, if you've heard of video games that replicate the phenomenon or the phenomenon exists within the video games, we wanted to kind of tie everything together and give you guys a horror game that you could, play that would replicate the horror of whatever we cover. And Markiplier, if you just go to Markiplier's channel and you search the Flesh Pit one, there is an independent game there where you get to explore the Flesh Pit in all its glory. So, my mic is super quiet. Thank you. Alex told me my mic is super quiet. You know why? Because I think I turned it down a little yesterday because it was in my face when we were playing Lethal Company ASMR version. Mark is definitely an SCP expert. His channel has a ton of games based on lore behind this. So, are we good on sound
Is that
now?
like when he does like the three scary games, or like just the
no,
regular games? Because I watch a lot of his stuff, but
he
I just
likes
haven't.
SCP so much. He usually does a full playthrough, 45
Full
minutes of a
game.
game. I'm sure there might
Wow.
be some that fall, like Skinwalkers and stuff, probably, or Bigfoot might have been in like one of his other ones. Thank you.
Like there's just not enough time in the day to watch everything I want to watch.
No, there isn't.
Else like that.
We've
Just
also said a million times that there will be weeks where we take a step back and we just bullshit. And we have TikToks on deck for that. And we're just building a whole thread of funny TikToks. So, but we did want to say thank you. Thank you, guys. Yeah, sometimes he'll mix it into 3 scary games. But yeah, he is so obsessed with SCPs. I'm surprised you hadn't heard of him through him. That he does a lot of full-length videos just based on that. So, I'm going to read paragraph by paragraph. What?
Yeah. I honestly have probably seen him, like seen a video of his SCP, but
yeah, because when he says it, he's like, "Oh, there's an SCP on this," and then that's it. And if you don't catch that, or you just go, wonder what an SCP is. You never, think about it again. So.
Yeah, and if you want me to read some, I can read some too, because I do have it up. So if you don't want to ruin your voice,
I might have to tap. I will have to tap out, I'm sure. I appreciate that because there are times that, yeah. If you guys see the link for Genshin Impact, if you do not play or if you've been interested in playing, you can use that link. You get some free shit. Yep, Slenderman was one as well. Yeah, he'll just randomly say
one
it.
Of these?
Mm-hmm.
See, y'all, I'm a noob. Y'all are gonna have to I'm learning this.
It's okay, but this is why we picked this, because this is such a cultic kind of thing that I thought there's no way in hell I'm gonna bookmark this main page. That a ton of people are covering this, and it fits kind of what we want to do. So. There's ratings up here. You can add a rating to it if you want, but we'll go through these. I think he was one. I don't think we'll ever get back to all of these. There's 4,000, so we'll see. All right, so this is on scp-wiki.wiki.com/thefleshpit. You can see this shit up here, but I'm going to say it just to give them credit. Marcellus D. Rains wrote this. It's just called The Flesh Pit. So these, I want to clarify, some are based on real experiences. Others are pure fiction. So, but they're fun nonetheless. Also, Alex did bring this up. One instance of someone doing something like this in real time was called The Sun Vanished, and it was on Twitter, and they would just post kind of daily, and sometimes they'd go off for a couple weeks and you'd wonder what happened to them. But it's basically a story as if aliens basically came down, did an eclipse of a certain area. I think we assume they were aliens, but you never really find out. But those are all called ARGs, and they kind of simulate things that came from SCPs, so. Or vice versa, really. All right. The Flesh Pit was massive, unruly, disgusting, and quite temperamental. In the years following the calamity, after everyone at some long-forgotten site all mysteriously disappeared near a rather large hole in the ground, the Flesh Pit had grown tired of its immortal existence. Well, not the pit itself, as underneath the hundreds upon hundreds of individual minds and melted animal corpses that now calls itself light, the Flesh Pit was still just a hole in the ground. Ugh. But that didn't stop it from occasionally screaming bloody murder well into the night, disrupting the dreams of the unhumans that lived on the eastern fringes of Hapthaway. A few of the locals took to complaining about the town's custodian, Candela, after a few particularly noisy nights. A few unlucky scamps wandered a bit too close to the edge and got ensnared in some of the flesh tendrils, joining the collective after being torn asunder and melted away. A horrific sight for onlookers, surely, but more importantly, it was an inconvenience for residents. As Anita approached the flesh pit, the scales on her back turned themselves over, revealing their reflective side. She swallowed. She was 10, maybe 15 meters from the edge of the pit where the flesh oozed out onto the ground and swallowed the land. She was far enough that the tendrils that licked the air around the pit's edge couldn't grab her, but close enough to see how gargantuan the pit truly was. She craned her neck side to side and squinted as hard as her eyes would let her. Even with vision that rivaled a hawk's, Anita could not see the pit end to end. I'm going to look it up because I want you guys to see what it looks like. Because it's terrifying. Listen. So here is... shut up. A picture of the flesh pit. And it looks exactly what it looks like. It's like the inside of some kind of organism. It does look like it has all of the parts that a human body would. It was a really good one. In the general story, it was eventually turned into a state park or national park. God, I want to show you guys. It just looks so gross. I want to show you. Don't look at my. God. So I'm just going to hover over it because we were watching it, but let's do that.
Intimidatable.
I'm going to mute it. But it's basically what you think it would look like. Literally, it just looks like the inside of a stomach, intestines. It looks like it is a living, breathing organism that is the ground. I don't even know what a sarlacc is. What the fuck is that? Is it safe for me to Google?
Yeah.
But there's living organisms in there. See, that looks kind of like, don't even know, but not good.
Oh, God.
So it has like little things that look like mitochondria or bacteria. It has little things that look like other things that you would find naturally inside of a human body. What did he say it was?
Like the stomach's revenge.
Right.
It looks like...
Yeah. The sarlacc is a very... Yeah. I mean, pretty much. I don't think it has something that would come up and eat you. I didn't know. That's Hut's little baby, isn't it? Does this actually show you the inside of a sarlacc? See, this is why we're going to rabbit hole. I've decided to call this segment the SCP rabbit hole. So this is just the rabbit cage of the petting zoo at this point. Look at this.
Yeah.
That's, yeah. I mean, is that, wow. I guess you're right. That is just a tongue protruding from a much larger organism from the looks of it. Right? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Right. Yeah. Oh, it looks like a root.
I was going to say it is a rutabaga. It's a rutabaga. Sorry, I wasn't punny. It's a rude rutabaga.
Wow.
I can't. And you know what? I wonder too. Is there a dex entry for this? I feel like the flesh pit should have a fucking dex entry in the SCP. Like, what SCP number is this? Instead of just a story about it. But it looks like somebody just wrote a story about it. But it will have a number on it. Anyways, you want to continue? I think we're like 4 paragraphs in. Yeah, a giant flesh bubble. Yeah, that's where we are. Right here.
Okay, let's see if I can pronounce words. Okay, we can do this.
Yes.
A giant flesh bubble boiled to the pit surface and erupted, tainting the air with pungent stench that would turn a vulture's stomach inside out. Anita could see the wave of profoundly abhorrent, I think that's what you say that,
Yep.
order wafting toward her like a heat wave. Given the distance between her and the noxious gas, the Spider Girl calculated that she would have ample time to get out of the way. But Anita was never that good at math.
She sucks at maths. Oh no, she sucks at the maths. That's probably not a good idea, right?
Yeah, me too. I hate the math. I work in a bank and I hate the math. Make it make sense.
I like math that makes actually conductive math, stuff that it has substance to it. But when you started getting into theories and relative numbers, miss me with that shit. I failed math. It was the only class I sucked at until I went to college, and they put you in quantitative method, which is essentially life skills math, figuring out how much interest you're going to pay on a loan. That shit makes sense to me, but
oh yeah,
I don't care about the stuff I'm never going to use, so I don't retain it. It's a weird thing that's my one genius in all but one subjects. I can't. Math just sucks unless I can apply it. It has to have some kind of physical root in life for me to understand it. Oh boy, Anita, what'd you get yourself into? The stench was powerful and fast. One could easily mistake the brown gas for a form of sentient life. It moved with such precision and malicious intent that it struck a chord in Anita's heart as it coiled with the boulder she was hiding behind. Oh, God. The air wrapped around the edges of the boulder and crept into her nose. The Spider Girl took a sharp inhale. She's a Spider Girl. Holding the last particles of fresh air in her lungs for as long as she could. It wasn't long before she had to take another breath, though. With reservation, Anita decided that passing out on the edge of the flesh pit was far worse than breathing in some bad air, and she took a breath. Oh, God, fuck. I never heard those words in that. Anyway.
Line ever.
Anita flailed, trying desperately to swat at the aerial enemy assaulting her nose. A painful surprise met her as one of her palms made contact with the side of her face, uttering a loud thwack and leaving a red mark on the Spider Girl's cheek. Wait, can you leave red marks on furry faces? Jesus. Then there was a chuckle, deep and booming. It was one that Anita recognized. This laugh belonged to a giant Nephilim. Anita reminded herself with a lower body of a horse and a CIV passing torso. Civ passing torso? Civilian passing? I bet that's what it is. With a crustacean carapace. You would have never made it through this paragraph. There's a bunch of made up fucking words I'm struggling with here. The Nephilim's face was soft and round. Long black hair that reached to her hooves shaped her cheeks quite nicely. This is getting a little erotic here. Her eyes were light brown, hazel almost, and her gigantic smile felt warm and welcoming. The longer Anita stared at the Nephilim, the quicker she felt her heart beat in her chest, and the more the red-hot marks on the side of her face burned. Anita caught herself staring at the Nephilim and gasped, reflexively covering the slap mark with her hands. She bit back a wince, feigning a meek smile and a light chuckle instead. The Nephilim folded her massive arms and stopped her hooves on the ground a few times before saying, "What you doing out here?" Anita swallowed. The pit. So basically, if you guys want to go read the rest of this, you can. I just wanted to give you guys a story that would go with it if you really wanted to. And we can continue to read these. We don't have that much time today. April has to go a little early today, which is fine. But I did want to discuss it and tell you that this is kind of what the SCPs are. They take something like the Flesh Pit National Park, which was supposed to be in Texas. There's something similar there, or was at one point, and it was reported on, and now people talk about it. So, wait, it farted is down here?
Yeah, I was scrolling a little, and I was like, oh, okay. I mean, we can keep reading. I would be okay to keep reading it.
Yeah.
It's completely up to you. But at least we got to get to the farting part.
Oh, we'll get to the farting part. I mean, I want to be able to read at least one of these a week. I want to be able to find games that people play, and I also want to, like, you know, provide some other context. If you guys just want to listen to me read, that's fine too. The Nephilim boomed in laughter again. What? Never seen another Evo before? I'm assuming these are evolved species, humans that have evolved into other various organisms. She gave Anita one overlook from head to toe, asking, "You from around here?" From around here. I probably should have just done that in my accent. It would have worked better. The right words were trapped somewhere between Anita's mind and her throat. She couldn't speak. Her body nodded for her and said nothing. Cool. Me too. The Nelphim raised her hand and pointed lazily at the flesh pit. Guess you're hiding? Why? Flesh tendrils try to grab you? Animated remains? Oh, the flesh pit must have screamed at you after you threw your trash in it. Anita shook her head this time. She considered 1,000 lies to tell this behemoth in front of her. Just save face. How could she look someone in the eyes and tell them that she got frightened by a fart? The spider girl racked her brain inside. She could say that she was there for observation or to try to find a way to keep the pit quiet at night so she could get some very needed sleep. She could also tell her that she was there to poke and prod at the oozing flesh, expanding the flesh pit at a molasses pace. That's kind of gross. Neither of these reasons sounded particularly appealing, though. Who in their right mind would ever think of those things any of those would work? God damn it. What the hell were you thinking? You're so fucking lame, Anita. Why would you even... It farted, Anita blurted out, covering her mouth with her many hands once the words were fired. Oh my God. Sometimes I'm so embarrassed I wish I had more hands to cover my face. The Nephilim cocked her head to one side. It farted? The brief moment of silence hung on that last word for eternity. Anita nodded. And you thought hiding behind a rock would block the wind? Anita nodded again. The Nephilim's cheeks filled with air as she tried to hold back her laughter. The effort was in vain. Soon after, she was doubled over, hands on her waist, laughter erupting from her as she bellowed so loudly that Anita felt reverb in her bones. The spider girl's cheeks were flushed, the scales across her body finally flipping over in their entirety and turning her invisible. I want that too. Can I be invisible?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
God damn it, I just spilled coffee all over. Fucker. Whatever.
I always do.
It's a caramel frappuccino because they were out of my good headache medicine. Not a fun vacation. No, definitely not. Why would you go to that national park? I wouldn't want to go in there ever.
Like, I picture the family just taking a picture in front of the big...
And it farts, and little
flesh
Timmy
ball.
goes into the air, and you're just like, Timmy, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It farted. It's like on
Hold on
Lethal
to me,
Company.
Timmy.
Yeah, hold on, grab my arm.
Grab my hand.
Grab my hand, Timmy.
Go into the light. Now I'm picturing like
God damn it. God. See, this is not going to be your average horror story podcast. Even if we do this, it's going to be fucking stupid.
And see, Nephilims are funny. I was trying to figure out while you were reading where I'd heard that word before, and I was an avid Supernatural fan. I don't know if anybody else is a Supernatural fan.
My brother and I watched it,
Supernatural.
and I do like it, but I couldn't tell you anything about it. I could tell you those boys are funny.
If you watch towards the end of the series, Jack is a Nephilim. He's like the cross between like an
a
angel
horse and a
human.
crab. Oh, nice.
It turned into a horse and a crab. That's the weird part to me. That's where it branches off just a little bit.
Well, and I wonder how many things in Supernatural are based off of SCPs and just they kind of tweaked it here and there too to fit their narrative. You know,
definitely a possibility. And they got two hot guys too.
Well, I don't know. I think Castiel's pretty hot. Not gonna lie.
I love Cass. Yeah, I like Cass too.
He's a goofy bitch. He's older though, so I think
Michael is one of my favorites too. Though.
Yeah.
I love Michael.
Oh man,
or Gabriel. No, not Michael. Gabriel. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Jesus, April, rein it in. Do we need to go now? No, I'm good. I've been rewatching Vampire Diaries, so I guess I could go back and rewatch that too.
I usually like to start at season 4 when Cass comes in. Season 1 through 3, they're okay, but
that's a lot of story building though in season 1 through 3, isn't it?
Yeah, and then you get Jeffrey Dean Morgan before he became Negan in The Walking Dead, and
I could. Most series though, I'm the opposite. I watch seasons 1 through 3, and then after that, it's shit. So it's good to know that there is a show where it kind of gets better as it goes on. I know that they brought it back, and that was a huge mistake, and they ended up canceling it pretty quickly thereafter. So, oh boy.
Well, I think they did like some spin-offs of it.
Yeah, they probably did that too.
Or like I think they were trying to do like the Wayward, and they were coming back with like some of the, I don't know, some of like the Claire and some of the old, like the newer ones. So I don't know. They were trying to bring it back, but it just didn't work.
The Nephilim stopped laughing once Anita disappeared. Look, I'm sorry, okay? I didn't mean to upset you. It farted? From the cover of Invisibility, Anita responded. It was horrible. I'm sure it was, Arachnoid. I'm sure it was. I have a name, Anita shouted, annoyed now. The Nephilim raised an eyebrow. Oh, yeah? What is it? Anita. Huh. Pretty. What's yours? You can call me Alistair. I'm going to say Alistair because Alistair? Who knows? Anita wondered if that was... Yeah, it looks like Alistair. It looks like ulcer, but not. Anita wondered if it was the Nephilim's actual name or if it was just one that she made up on the spot. Either way, at least the Spider Girl now had a name to put to a face, and she was grateful for that. It was a decent name, strong, powerful, beautiful, like its owner. Are they gonna fuck? She peered over the boulder and stared at the flesh pit. This is a different story at flesh pit than I was thinking it was gonna be. Calm down now. Not a single boil. Yeah, right. Got some spider on crab horse going on here. Not a single boiling ulcer or fleshy bulb in sight. The flesh tendrils receded under a thick layer of oozing muscle mass and fat, leaving the edge of the pit looking like a sunburned tomato. Stream drifted up from the center of the pit at a steady rate, interrupted only by the low occasional moan. I'm telling you, the flesh pit was calm for now. Anita released her grip and slid down the boulder, resting with her back against it. This thing keeps messing with our sleep. We live on the outer edge of Hathaway. That's actually my house right there. She pointed at a tall, lopsided, dilapidated building leaning precariously to one side. The wood of Anita's house was eaten by termites and dandelion lilies, two invasive species that doubled as a high source of protein and an architect's worst nightmare. Yeah, I think it might be becoming a hentai, Dorothy. I really do. There was a brick chimney, loosely stacked, that swayed in the breeze like the rest of the house did. From outside, Anita could see the silhouette of her mother chatting up another spider. Hopefully not another guy, Anita thought. After a week without sleep, I'd lose my mind if I had to help her move another headless body out of her bedroom and into the trash. She's a Black Widow. Nephilim craned her neck back.
Literally and figuratively.
Right? Just, what do you mean headless body out of the bedroom? She must be a Black Widow. Interesting. You will probably have so many art ideas. And the Discord is a safe space. Post whatever you want. There is an art tab. It is totally free to do whatever as long as it's not too gross. Too illicit.
Yes, Dorothy, I want to see.
Oh, God. The Nephilim craned her neck back, offering a terse nod of approval. So the screaming's been keeping you up, too. Yeah, Anita said, gesturing behind her. I wanted to see if there's anything I could do to it. I don't know. Make it feel better? Talk to it? Put it out of its misery? Alistair shrugged. Could throw a few Koltov mocktails in there. See what happens. Koltov mocktails. Shh. I'm still waiting on my sexy crow and wolf drawing. There was an emotion bubbling in Anita's stomach that she had never felt before. Her chest tightened and each of her 8 hands curled into fists. She shot Alistair a look with as much rage that she could muster, with 4 index fingers fully extended in her direction. You take that back. Alistair put her hands up in a defensive position. All right. I was kidding. Relax. We won't burn the flesh. But what do you propose we do then? Go into it? Anita thought for a second, resting her finger on her chin as forearms scratched her head. She actually hadn't considered what she'd do when she got to the edge of the pit. Perhaps casting stones or bricks into it. Chuck some healing herbs into it. Do large holes in the ground. Even need medication? Wait, medication? Perhaps. Yeah, Anita said, stroking her chin. Let's do that. The Nelfin's face dropped. I'm sorry, what? Well, maybe it's sick and no one's helping it. Maybe if we, go inside of the pit, we might be able to fix the issue and get some sleep, like antibodies or something. I'm not going to get assimilated. I'd rather dig my eyes out than become whatever it is things become when they get absorbed. Anita harumphed before scaling the boulder and climbing down the other side. She approached the pit tentatively, placing one foot in front of the other until she reached the edge where the liquid flesh bubbled and crawled outward. The spider girl peered into the pit, looking at the undulated beige-pink mass staring back at her. 100 eyes bubbled to the surface and split the skin, creating rudimentary eyelids for them to rest in. The eyes were all different, but somehow the same. Most were human, as far as Anita knew, but some were distinctly Evo, or even mechanical. They tracked her as she strafed, never breaking contact with any of her own eyes. She shuddered. Okay, let's stop there. That is creepy. So basically what she's saying is if you get assimilated into the walls of this thing, it seems like the eyes kind of become part of the walls, and that's the way that something so large is able to keep an literal eye on anyone nearby. Could you imagine? Yeah, like a big.
I just realized that. So all the eyes are all the people that have been assimilated.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and
my God. Oh,
it's
God.
imagine a colonoscopy, but when they put the camera in, there's just eyeballs on the side of the wall that just snap towards the camera. That's essentially what you're picturing, but it's giant. So, yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I don't like it when people look at me anyways. Part of the ship, part of the crew. Hell yeah. Part of the trip, part of the ew. I tripped and fell and now I'm part of the ew. Oh God.
I don't know. I got pretty eyes though, so maybe it's okay.
Mine look pure, bright silver. I wouldn't know because I've never even seen what you looked like. So,
well, maybe I can't. I'm just gonna go faceless as long as I can.
Well, no, obviously, if you shared it with me, I wouldn't share it with the world unless you were comfortable with that. But we are talking about getting some VTuber stuff going so that we can catch what I'm sure are amazing facial expressions from April in real time without her feeling uncomfortable. So. Oh God! You might be in trouble. Dude, if I gotta expose myself. Oh shit! A jagged crack broke in the pit from the edge where Anita was standing. The flesh tore itself apart slowly at first, and then with enough speed to shoot out a gust of wind that knocked Anita off her feet. She got farted on. She groaned as she landed on her back. The spider looked over as she heard a slow, methodical trot from Alistair. The Nephilim was standing over her, looking down into the crude and uneven stairway that was now present before them. Ew, it just turned into a stairway. A massive hand reached out from the wall of the stairwell, gesturing the two inside. Alistair shook her head, helping Anita to her feet. Was she really about to do this? With a straightened back, clenched fist, and the will of a creature much larger than she was, Anita sucked in her breath and started down the stairs. As her foot came into contact with the squelching mass beneath her, Anita shut her eyes. There are some sounds, like the wet sound when you pick up the beehive in Lethal Company, that just make me go, ugh. No, that's what I'm imagining. She expected the walls to close in around her like a horror movie, for her consciousness to melt away, enjoying a collective that had no respect for personal boundaries or keeping people awake at night. And yet nothing of the sort happened. Instead of liquid, meaty assimilation, Anita was greeted with the sound of low, pained moans as a putrid stench that burned the hairs out of her nose. Come, she practically hacked out of her lungs. Come on, it's not that bad. Nobody clipped that. Alistair made a face that betrayed all of her feelings. She tentatively stepped into the stairwell, trying to find her footing. The stairs weren't as wide as some of the ones in Halfway, but neither girl expected the pit to be accommodating for Nephilim. But as Alistair took one step down, there was a ripping sound that tore themselves asunder underneath her weight. The stairs tore themselves asunder underneath her weight. I don't know. I don't know why she's going in. Rearranging themselves again and again until they were much, much larger. Alistair stood at the top, her face white, her body rigid. Anita smiled. Together, the girls descended into the pit for what felt like hours, the stairs shifting and changing to accommodate for Anita's massive hooves and the cavern ceiling evaporating until it was tall enough for her to stand upright within. That should have been upright within. When they reached the level ground, it was dark. The sunlight from the stairwell didn't reach down there, nor did either of the two bring a light source with them. Feeling around in the dark for an undigested torch or flashlight, Anita found nothing. She sighed. I'm not touching it. Don't you dare. Ew. Why would you feel around? I mean, it's being nice to you, but if you poke it, it might not be.
Yeah.
All right, let's head back. Alistair began turning on her hooves, and starting for the stairwell. Before she got there, though, the entrance to the stairwell sealed itself shut like a cut wound does after stitches. Only this happened much faster, and the pit splashed a bucket's worth of blood and red gunk on Alistair's face. With a groan, she grabbed a few of the larger chunks of mystery meat and threw them on the ground. Real funny, she said, hands on her hips. Real fucking funny. Okay, so it's farted on them, and now it has bled and thrown up on them. I'm starting to think this is a little bit farther north.
Blood on them.
Yeah.
Combine that last one. Thrown up blood on them and mysterious meat chunks.
I don't like the word chunk. Right. Chunky chunks. I don't like it. Anita held back a chuckle. And she's a horse, so you know it's like in her mane and shit. Ugh. Anita held back a chuckle. Alistair snapped her head in that direction, and a glob of congealed blood flew at Anita, landing on her feet. The spider girl groaned. Alistair laughed. This is sounding more like not a butt and more of something else. You suck, Anita said, yanking her feet out of the glob with more effort than she thought she needed. Alistair stuck her tongue out. Well, we're in now. We're in. What now? I can't see anything, can you? Anita pondered, finally free of the blob. Let me use my spider vision to see which way we can go. Wait, you have spider vision? Of course not. Anita scanned through the darkness, seeing nothing save for vague shapes of bulging flesh that pulsated at a frequency that made her shiver. After a moment, the cavern ceiling started making a tearing sound, ripping. Blood started raining down on the pair from above as a large, uneven crack opened above them and a body fell out. The body was dressed in a white coat that reached down to its ankles, stained in blood and something else that Anita couldn't identify. The hair was long and blonde, or at least it would have been blonde had it not been dyed a deep brown by the pit. As the corpse rose, Anita could see its face. The body looked human enough, 2 arms, 2 legs, but the face of the thing standing before her was alien. 6 eyes scattered unevenly across its head, and there were mouths barking without noise where its ears would have been. That's terrifying. Its nose was 2 vertical slits that opened and closed sideways, and the body had no mouth to talk where Anita expected to find one. Instead, the corpse had a long, prehensile tentacle like that of an elephant that sniffed the air in front of them. At the end of the trunk was a human mouth. Light, the corpse said, giving the pair a terse nod before withdrawing a tablet from its coat pocket and activating it. The tablet glowed with a radiance that lit up the entire cavern, revealing an open path deeper in the pit behind Alistair. The corpse walked past them, taking the light with it. What is happening? Is this like an alien being? Is it assimilating people?
Like,
And that's
I'm still stuck on the other thing that the blood and the other thing they couldn't identify.
The thing, this other animal thing, it has 8 eyes. It has mouths where the ears should be, and where its mouth is, it has like a tentacle with a mouth on the end. Like, I'm picturing it, and that's terrifying. And it just cut itself open, gave birth to this, and then we do need that could be another emote, a GIF for gross. But it birthed this thing, and it has a tablet with light, but it's not going to give it to him. I'm
so confusion.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Oh gosh.
Like, so like, is this like? I guess the body is like a mixture of multiple both.
Okay. Well, the way she described it,
and animals, and so
this is normal.
It's animals
this
and
is
bodies.
normal. And then she looks at the face, and it's lips like a mouth but sideways, and then like picture Harry Potter, the slit face of Voldemort, and the nose, but the mouth is like an elephant trunk, but there's lips on the end of it. What the fuck? Yeah. And I feel like I've seen other iterations of aliens where they have a tentacle mouth, but I can't think of where I've seen that before.
There's the tentacles. Yep, we found the hentai. We found it. It's here. Tentacles. Yep.
Alistair said, shaking her head. That's a hard nope from me, fucko. Anita shrugged and started down the path after it. Feel free to wait in the dark then, Alistair. Alistair thought on it, folding her arms and stamping her hoods around for a moment. But as the darkness slowly began wrapping around her again, she trotted after them, shouting, "Hey!" The path was sloping down again. Anita slipped more than once while following the corpse, who partially melted into the ground to keep its balance while holding the tablet above its head. Alistair kept the pace easily, stomping down the slope without rest or hesitation. Soon the pair saw a faint light. "What is that?" Anita asked the corpse guide. The corpse rotated its head 180 degrees, trunk mouth flailing as it said, "Light." When the ground leveled out again, they were in front of a massive semi-translucent wall. On the other side of the wall was a pale blue light source illuminating the cavern, silhouetting their guide. Anita could see the dark blue veins running across the wall, carrying blood from one side to the other. She felt its warmth radiating from the other side as she approached. She examined the wall from top to bottom, trying to find a way through. She cocked her head to one side and looked at the body when she asked, "How do we, The corpse looked at the wall, then Anita, then Alistair, who shrugged in response. If she didn't know better, Anita could have sworn that the corpse was shaking its head at them. The corpse raised the tablet over its head and brought it down on the wall. The wall gave way, if only a bit, before bouncing back to its original position as if nothing had happened. The corpse then looked at Alistair again and then back at the wall. Oh, the Nephilim said, ideas forming in her head. Alistair trotted to the wall, standing a hair's length away from it. She cracked her knuckles, sending the reverb throughout Anita's body and the rest of the tunnel. Alistair revealed her massive hand back and with one solid thwack plunged her fist straight into the wall.
Oh my.
The wall erupted into a shower of blood and viscera, most of which had somehow avoided Anita and landed on Alistair. Gross! The Nephilim stood there, fist still in position. She punched it again and sighed. Of fucking course. Anita chuckled and patted Alistair's leg as she passed. The interior behind the wall was brighter than the surface, getting even more luminescent at the center of the room. There was a figure in the center of the light, one that Anita had to squint to make out in order to avoid being blinded. Alistair raised a hand in front of her face, shielding her eyes. The corpse guide pointed at the thing in the center of the light and said, "Light." Alistair scoffed. "Yeah, no kidding. Is that what's bothering you?" Anita said, turning her back to the thing. The corpse nodded. "Light. I'll be surprised if they survive this, honestly, but it looks like they might be helping, unless they get eaten anyways. Like, here, fix me and then I'll eat you."
Yeah.
Anita,
like they've probably done more than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're actually attempting to help, and then like, oh, they're helpful, but
right.
I'm hungry, so
Mm-hmm. They made me better, but I still have to assimilate them. Sorry. Anita glanced up at Alistair.
The rules.
The Dems the rules. The Nephilim rolled her eyes and Jesus Christ.
Man.
And walked towards
Sorry.
the thing. No, it's fine. It's fucking hilarious, and walked towards the thing with her head turned away and both hands raised. When she was close enough to grab whatever it was, she let out a loud grunt and started tearing it away from the wall. A myriad of wet, squelching noises made their appearance as the thing was torn from its spot in the flesh. After a moment, though, the noises stopped. Anita approached with her eyes closed, feeling her way through the light until she touched Alistair's hind leg. "What's wrong?" Alistair grunted once more, yanking back with all the strength she could summon. The thing did not budge. "I can't grab it." Yeah, I was probably yakking too. "Can you get it from there?" The other
probably yakking.
She's like, "Oh, I can't grab it. Can you get in there from the other side and see if you can cut whatever's keeping it attached to the wall?" "What is it?" Alistair grunted. "I don't know. It feels like a scamp, though, but I've never seen one glow before." Anita nodded and felt her way along Alistair's legs until she, too, was touching the part of the pit where the glowing thing was attached. She could feel 1,000 tendons connecting the thing to the wall, some of which felt similar to spider silk mixed with some kind of technomantic metal. Anita hadn't performed technomancy in a while, and it was nigh impossible for her to do the severing spell properly while blind, but she hadn't come this far to get stuck now. She clasped the 8 of her hands together and thought about the connections in front of her. There must have been 50, no 60 of these silk metal tendons keeping this thing in place. She lined all of the connections in a neat row in her mind's eye and said the words to the ritual. Not going to try that. Is it calm no cirrus ha? Anita felt... Anita felt the... I'm going to have you do all the weird words. Calm no cirrus ha.
We got to do it together. It doesn't work if you don't do it together.
You can tell him yourself, John. I'm pretty sure he's in the bathroom right now. Anita felt the heat of the spell slice through each of the tendons like a warm knife through butter, and then Alistair was pulling again, snapping the rest of the ones she'd missed. There was a crash that shook the earth as the Nephilim's As the Nephilim fell on her hind legs, the thing was free, and with its freedom, the light had begun to die down. Once the corpse's tablet was the sole light source, Anita could finally see what was causing all the trouble. The thing was tiny in Alistair's hands. It was dead, covered in mucus and muscle, not fully digested. It had the head of an alligator, but the body of a small lizard, like a gecko, a scamp, probably one from the waste pits. It looks half-eaten, Anita guessed once her eyes completely adjusted. Poor thing probably couldn't eat it because of the, radiation. So you're telling me this thing had indigestion from a fucking radioactive scamp? Alistair groaned, slinging the scamp over her back. Anita nodded. Looks like it. Great, we can get out. Before Alistair could finish, a swarm of flesh trundles wrapped around her and began pulling her into the floor. The Nephilim screamed, but she was cut off once her mouth was covered by bulbous flesh blob. Anita stood there frozen as Alistair was completely dragged beneath the floor. The Nephilim's hand reached out to her, clawing at the ground, desperate for salvation. Then in the blink of an eye, it was gone, replaced by an air bubble that popped as soon as it surfaced. Tears welled in Anita's eyes. The spider girl fell to her knees, barely noticing the flesh tendrils that began wrapping around her waist. I knew it! Yep. It does look like they may have survived. There's nothing here. And if you continue, Anita was rocketed out of the flesh pit. Mm-hmm. It is. It's the radioactive thing from Lethal Company. It ate the apparatus. Anita was rocketed out of the flesh pit and soared through the night sky screaming. She gasped when she landed on her feet next to Alistair, who was standing and facing the flesh pit. As the scamp laid limp in her arms, glowing faintly. Indigestion, the Nephilim repeated. Indigestion, the spider girl confirmed. The pair stared at the scamp for a minute. The flesh pit was calm, not a single oozing flesh bubble in sight across the whole surface. Even the bits of flesh at the edge had seemed to cease their endless march across the ground. Alistair chuckled softly at first, and then a bit louder. A bit louder still, and then she was booming. Anita joined her. The spider girl and the Nephilim spent a while laughing into the night. When they finally calmed down, Alistair hauled the scamp over her shoulder and hurled it into the woods as hard as she could. Jesus Christ. She shared a look with Anita, shaking her head. Fuck that. So I guess if you don't think to go down here, you just get a bad ending to the story. And then if you just go, hey, what's down there? You might get that.
If you keep scrolling.
Yep. So
yeah, that was weird. I thought like there was part missing, and then I was like, "What's happening?" And then I kept scrolling. I was like, "Oh."
Yep. So there you go.
Oh no, because I do that thing because I didn't know if I would be reading. You do that thing when you read a little bit farther down to make sure that you're prepared if you do have to read, that you know. So I was like trying to go down like. If she taps out, I need to read and I need to know where I am. So.
Honestly, I struggled a little with that one paragraph, but as soon as I wet my throat, I was fine again. So yeah, this is kind of what we've decided we might do. There's a bunch of sister sites, the Wanderer's Library, the SCP International. There's a bunch of resources, but these are, it's wild. These are all stories based on lore. That you can look.
I like the way it's put together, like in a story like that, though. That's really cool.
Yep. So these are just going to be stories that other people. There's guides. There's all kinds of shit. There's even a chat. I mean, if you guys really want to find out more about this criticism policy, I would never criticize anyone who took something as that was a good story. For Flesh Pit, it kind of gave you a supernatural surroundings, but if you look at anything about it, apparently it was a mysterious place in Texas, and I don't know if it still exists, but I was talking to Alex and I was like, if something like this did exist, which it might, you never know, it would definitely be under government control in some area like Area 51. So yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep, we are going to call this segment a rabbit hole, just because we're trying to find. It's a petting zoo, all right? There's always rabbits, but it's not a rabbit hole, it's a flesh hole. I really think that if you haven't seen Markiplier's videos on it, you should, because the game that he played does give you the heebie-jeebies. Like, he can't see very far in front of him. He has to find D batteries laying around in order to even be able to charge his flashlight, and his range of sight decreases as the battery grows weaker. So, and you never know how those microorganisms are going to behave. You know, are they going to come straight towards me?
So weird.
It is very weird. So if you guys go through the SCP
it
website.
Was weird that, like,
what? Go ahead.
Only the body had a light. Like, only the body had a light. Like,
what?
Unless you take your own light. Like, I didn't think to take a light source in with
right.
me to a dark pit. Excuse me?
And it also tells me that they don't just assimilate. I think the walls are made of, like, corpses, because it just threw a dead body out and then hive-minded the dead body. Yeah. So I'm sure you're starving.
It's like they all intermix together, like, because it says bodies and stuff. It said, like, bodies and animals, right? Like, humans and animals.
Yep.
And even it seems like robots, because it was talking about like technological beings and junk. So, like, just an accumulation of everything.
Right. And it's one of those. It's one of those things where, like, you think their body's gone and it's not. The body's still there. It's just waiting to be used. I mean, if it doesn't get food, what's stopping it from, like, sending one of its flesh minions out to drag food to it?
Yeah, and think of, like, the many people who've tried to, like, explore the pit. They probably all see or feel or hear different things too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like, they like, different bodies come down to help. Like come to, like they see different. I don't know. Like, one may have, like, 4 heads and 3. Look like regular heads, but the bodies are something.
I'm still thinking about the fucking tentacle face. Ugh.
the thing, because it said it was like an elephant trunk,
but a
with
mouth.
A mouth on it. That's what's still getting me, with the mouthy at the end.
Oh god. Yeah, look at this. The main one here is the first 1,000. I think there's 8,000 of these. 8,000.
Oh wow.
So if you guys just want to go through here and give us a number of one that you would like to see, I may even link this in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, you can find the link on my main page here, on Twitch or on YouTube, both places. Actually, I could probably drop it in the chat. Oh, come on. Stop doing that.
Did you see where it says, like, 001 is, like, it's, like, waiting for classification or something like that, where it's declassified? Yeah. Like, 001 is, like, I'm like, whoa.
It's wild to think that, like, this stuff is based on semi-real accounts or, stories. But there's, like, ancient containment sites. Yeah. I mean, this is where you're going to find, I bet if you look it up, Slenderman's on here somewhere. But a lot of the first... Yeah. A lot...
wait. Some of the titles are so interesting. They look so interesting.
This one is declassified, but it's here. Magnetic kill agent activated. Continued life signs confirmed. Removing safety interlocks. So yeah, this is one that you get to go through and see a bunch of stuff. That one keeps changing. Ooh. I wonder what all of these are. This is a rabbit hole that I am more than willing to fall into, if you guys are, for sure. Yeah. Look, Memento Mori. Oh god. But yeah, there's just a lot of these that that was the very first one. We can go through it. Immediate cardiac arrest followed by death. God,
That
scrolling
was a good,
down.
that was a good first dive.
I think it was a good first dive. It
was,
a short but sweet one. But there's stuff like this too, where it's like the following files are top secret, classified. If resulted immediate cardiac arrest or followed by death if you keep scrolling and you're not classified. I mean, they do a really good job of making you feel order chronologically. Look at that. And you can
it's
click.
Really scary. Like something's really gonna happen.
Yeah. And I can go through all of these and read, like, what is the first one? This one is, I guess, Memtic killed agent activated. Continue life signs confirmed.
Don't worry, guys. Nothing's gonna happen to us. We're fully classified. Nothing's gonna happen to us. We classified ourselves before this, so everything's great. Nothing's gonna happen. Neither one of us are gonna have cardiac arrest or death. We will be just fine. I will be enjoying my pot roast in a few minutes.
I wonder if I copy paste that.
I might get indigestion though. So.
Yeah. So these are just all going to be stuff that's written as if they're fact, and a lot of them are fiction, but my God, they're so much fun. So I don't know. If you guys want to go through this, I will post it in the Discord. The link is below if you want to join us there. I will post the link to the website. You guys can tell us, hey, we want to hear about this one. If we don't see you guys suggest anything, then we're just going to pick one. So yeah.
Because there are a bunch of cool ones that just the titles themselves are just really cool. I'm like, oh,
damn it,
that would be awesome.
My crotch came unlocked again. Bodysuits are fucking. Why don't they make those better? I don't understand it. Thank you. It's kind of cold down here, and so I was like, I don't really just want to wear my leather outfit tonight, and then I just put a bodysuit underneath of it, and it looks really good. So I'm excited. I'm excited about a lot of things, but I'm excited about this because
it does.
We're trying to fucking find stuff that wasn't overdone, and I think this is a good place to start because even if someone's covered these, there's no way they've covered all 8,000. So. All right, I'll let you go eat.
No, there's plenty of stuff to go around for sure.
Definitely.
Plenty of material.
Just so you guys know, I think for the next couple days, subs and bits are decreased premium on the channel. So if you have not subscribed yet, go ahead. You get special emotes, and Maddie is really busting his ass on those special emotes. So check them out, and I'll see you guys next time. I guess this is where we do our normal bye.